Hello, my friends. I'm Clover, and this is Genuinely Approachable Sudoku, and today we are solving From the Sublime to the Ridiculous by Philip Newman. This is a step-by-step Sudoku. I don't think that this is a variant that we've seen before. It is part of our August guessing game, so if you have an idea what the next variant is, then by all means, let us know in the comments what you think it's going to be and earn yourself a bonus hat. And if you're not sure, feel free to just play along and enjoy the puzzle. So in the Sudoku, we have normal Sudoku rules, so placing the digits 1 through 9 once each in each row, each column, and each outline 3x3 region. Then there are also some arrows in the grid, and they kind of get obscured on my screen when I click over them, but hopefully you can see these okay. Feel free to follow the link on your own if you're having trouble seeing what's going on my screen here. I'm not quite sure how to change that. But anyways, the way the arrows work is they indicate a path around the grid that takes the form of a loop where one arrow points to the next one, but you don't immediately know which arrows point to which ones in which order, because for instance, this arrow here could point to either of these two as its next step. But an arrow tells you the number of steps you have to take to get to the next arrow in the loop. So for instance, if we do start here, then this could either be a 1 on this arrow to take 1 step to get to this arrow, or it could be a 3 to take 1, 2, 3 steps to get to this arrow. And because there's already a 1 in the column, it must be a 3, and then this must be our next arrow. And now this one is easy because there's only one arrow that we're pointing in the direction of. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have to place a 6 there. And similarly here, there's only one arrow above it, so we have to place a 1 there. Here there's only one arrow to its left, so that's going to be a 7. Here there's only one arrow below it, so that's going to be a 4. And that actually makes this a 4 by Sudoku, so we can note that. Now that points to this, which is obviously not going to point back at that 4. That would have to be a 4 again, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up to this arrow. Now, does this arrow go to this one or to this one? Well, if it was this one, it would have to take 1, 2, 3 steps, and we already have 3s in the row and the region. So it must be going to this one. So that's going to be 1 step, and then this is going to take 2 steps to go to here. And then we're going downwards to the only available arrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be a 6. This is going to go left by 1, so that's a 1. And then this is going to go up by 7, up to here. And then this has to go to the only arrow to its right, 4 steps. And then this is going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to the one that I already highlighted. And that is our variant taken care of. So now we can work on some classic Sudoku. This is going to be a 9, our last digit in there. And then we need to place a 7 and an 8 in the row, and we have a 7 in this column here already. We need an 8 in this region, and this is the only cell that's not seen by the 8 in row 1. And then these digits are going to be 4 and 9, or not 4 and 9. They are going to be 9 and 7 to finish off the row. These now have to be 1, 3, and 6, and these have to be 2, 5, and 9. And because there's a 2 and 9 in this column, that's going to be my 5. Now I have 5s here and here. That places a 5 right there. And I bet I can finish off this column now. I'm going to need a 6 and a 7. Yep, I can take care of that. And then these 3 cells have to contain 2, 8, and 9, so that becomes a naked 8 because there's a 2 and 9 in the row. That's a 2 and a 9 there. These are going to be 1, 3, and 7, and because I have a 1 and 7 in this row, that's going to be a 3. And I need a 9 here and an 8 to finish off the region. Now, I have 4 7s looking into the central region right there. So that rules 7 out of all the cells in region 5 except for this one. These are going to be 3, 5, and 6. That's not a 6 because there's a 6 in the column, and that's not a 5 because there is a 5 in the column. I need a 1 somewhere in this column. It can't go here and it can't go there, so it's got to go there, and then I need to finish the column with a 6 and an 8. And then this region is going to finish off with 3, 5, 6, and 9. This can't be 3 or 5 or 6, so that's a naked 9. So we're going to place a 9 there, and that resolves this 2 and 9. Now I need to place an 8 in the central column, and it can only go there, so that's going to be either 3 or 5. Now if I look at this, I can place the 2 there because it's not a 9. There's a 9 in the row already, and then these are going to be 4, 6, and 8. That makes this a 3, and it resolves this. And then these two digits are going to be 2 and 5 to finish the region. These cells have to contain 2, 4, and 5. And then if we look at this row that's nearing completion here, we need 1, 3, 7, and 9. I have a 1, 7, and 9 in this column already, so this is going to be a naked 3. And this has a 7 and 9, so that's going to be a naked 1, which makes this a 7 and makes this a 9, and that's now a 1. The 3 that I just placed gives me a 6 here. I can eliminate 6 and 8 from this cell, making it a 4. And then here I need 2 and 5 to finish the column, which resolves this. Now I need 6 and 7 here, which resolves this 8, and also the one that I placed earlier resolves that. And my last two cells are going to contain a 4 and an 8 to finish the puzzle. And that is how you solve Philip Newman's From the Sublime to the Ridiculous. Give us your best guesses for tomorrow's variant in the comments below this video, if you haven't cheated and seen it already when this comes out. And I will see you again in a couple days.